The U.S. Navy has deployed the Independence-class littoral combat ship, LCS, USS Gabrielle Giffords, to the Indo-Pacific region. Importantly, it's carrying the fifth-generation Over-the-Horizon Naval Strike Missile, NSM, and MQ-8B Fire Scout helicopter drone, which is used to look out for targets. USS Gabrielle Giffords left San Diego earlier in September. The presence of USS Gabrielle Giffords carrying Naval Strike Missile is expected to bolster American forces in the region where China is trying to establish its dominance. Timothy Heath, a Rand Corp senior defense analyst, said, "The Pentagon is building a military force that can operate on a more sustainable basis and has a better chance of fighting and surviving within the Chinese deadly anti-access aerial denial envelope." Commander John Fage, a spokesperson for the U.S. Navy's Third Fleet, stated that the Naval Strike Missile will help increase the firepower of already strong naval force in the region. In this video, Defense Updates reports on Naval Strike Missile's armed USS Gabrielle Giffords deployment in the South China Sea. Let's get started. This video is sponsored by War Thunder. If you are, like us, fascinated by military vehicles and technology, I recommend you give War Thunder a try. It's a military vehicle combat game which you can download and play for free on PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One with cross-platform support. It has a huge variety of more than 1,200 playable aircraft, tanks, helicopters, and ships from the 1930s to the 1990s, which you can take to battle on land, in the air, and at sea on more than 80 theaters of war. War Thunder's been kind enough to offer all Defense Updates viewers a special bonus, which will grant you a free premium tank, aircraft, or ship, and 3 days of premium account time for registering using our link in the description below. So take the plunge and join more than 20 million players from around the world. China claims most of the South China Sea. It's said that it has indisputable sovereignty over the area. Vietnam, Philippines, Malaysia, Brunei, and Taiwan have disputed these claims. The route's significant, as about $5 trillion in trade through shipping passes each year. Countries like the US, Japan, UK, and India have no claims in the area and want freedom of navigation, as per international maritime laws. China has tried imposing a unilateral decision as per which all ships and aircraft navigating in the area need to identify itself to the Chinese Navy. Viewers may note that the Philippines approached International Tribunal for arbitration and argued that Chinese activity in the region was violating international law. On July 12, 2016, judges at Hague Tribunal completely rejected China's claims over the waters and stated that China's claims that it enjoyed historical rights over the South China Sea is incorrect. China has built military features like reinforced aircraft hangars and deployed surface-to-air and anti-ship missiles in several man-made outposts in the South China Sea. This buildup is designed to create an anti-access area denial envelope. The Littoral Combat Ship, LCS, is a set of two classes, the Independence and Freedom. Construction of the Freedom class is spearheaded by Lockheed Martin at Fincantieri Marinette Marine Shipyard in Wisconsin, while that of Independence-class ships is led by Austal USA in Alabama. These are relatively small surface vessels and basically designed for operations near shore. During the late 1990s, the U.S. Navy understood that cruisers and destroyers would be vulnerable to attacks in shallow coastal waters. Large warships like cruisers and destroyers are designed for open ocean warfare and not for shallow water where these can be targeted by high-speed boats, missile-firing fast attack craft, small submarines, sea mines, and land and air-launched anti-ship missiles. The idea behind the Littoral Combat Ship, as described by former Secretary of the Navy Gordon R. England, is to create a small, fast, maneuverable, and relatively inexpensive member of the DDX family of ships. If required, these ships will absorb an attack and protect the much more expensive cruiser or destroyers. The LCS is envisioned to be a networked, agile, stealthy surface combatant capable of defeating anti-access and asymmetric threats in coastal waters. Interestingly, the LCS has a modular design. The vessels can be configured with different modules for specific roles that include anti-submarine warfare, mine countermeasures, anti-surface warfare, intelligence, surveillance and reconnaissance, homeland defense, maritime intercept, special operations, and logistics. In the long run, the LCS are expected to replace slower and specialized ships such as minesweepers and amphibious assault ships. USS Gabrielle Giffords LCS-10 is an Independence-class littoral combat ship and the first one to be deployed with Naval Strike Missiles. It was commissioned in June 2017. The LCS is named after former U.S. Congresswoman Gabrielle Giffords. It has a length of 127.4 meters, that's 418 feet, and displacement of 3,104 tons when fully loaded. The ship uses 2 gas turbine and 2 diesel engines to power 4 steerable water jets. The USS Gabrielle Giffords has a speed of 40 knots plus, that's 46 miles per hour or 74 kilometers per hour, and has a range of 4,300 nautical miles, which is about 8,000 kilometers or 4,900 miles. It accommodates 40 core crew plus up to 35 mission crew. USS Gabrielle Giffords can carry up to 2 Fire Scout. The Northrop Grumman MQ-8 Fire Scout is an unmanned autonomous helicopter developed by Northrop Grumman for use by the United States Armed Forces. The Fire Scout is designed to provide reconnaissance, situational awareness, aerial fire support, and precision targeting support for ground, air, and sea forces. Fire Scout surveillance and targeting capability is expected to further enhance the LCS's improved lethality. Currently, U.S. Navy uses the Boeing RGM-84 Harpoon Block II and the French-designed MBDA Exocet anti-ship missile. These are relatively outdated and don't fit into the modern landscape. The Naval Strike Missiles, or NSM, is the upgrade of Kongsberg's Penguin short to medium-range anti-ship guided missile. The missile has a range of 100 miles or 185 kilometers. NSM is capable of high subsonic speeds. It has a sea skim mode by which it travels very close to the surface, making it hard to detect and intercept. It's also designed to maneuver to avoid enemy defenses. It's equipped with 276 pounds or 125 kilogram multi-purpose blast fragmentation warhead. NSM features an imaging IR seeker which is complemented by inertial or GPS navigation. The missile also has a built-in database of representative ship types to distinguish between intended targets and other objects. Importantly, it can be used as an anti-ship missile as well as for taking out land targets. NSM will be placed on the decks of LCSs through a proprietary canister launcher. An LCS will be capable of carrying up to 8 NSMs in deck-mounted canisters. According to Raytheon, NSM launchers, the missile and supporting component will be manufactured in the United States. Notably, U.S. Navy has chosen NSM for future FFG-X frigates also. China has built up its conventional as well as nuclear weapons. On August 9th, Rear Admiral Michael Brooks, Director of Intelligence for STRATCOM, stated China has doubled its nuclear arsenal in the last decade, and it will again in the next. The Chinese Navy has received market attention, and its upgradation plans are especially aggressive. For example, China plans to build 6 more aircraft carriers by 2035, 4 of which will be nuclear-powered. Deployment of USS Gabrielle Giffords, armed with naval strike missiles, indicates that the U.S. Navy is slowly increasing its power and presence in the Pacific Ocean. Naval Strike Missiles-equipped USS Gabrielle Giffords will pose a unique challenge to the Chinese Navy, as the relatively small, stealthy, and agile warship will be hard to target, but will have the ability to take out much larger warships of Chinese Navy. It's fair to say that the combo will add a new dimension to the U.S. Navy's capability in the South China Sea region.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more videos like this. Hit the like button if you find the video interesting, and kindly provide your feedback in the comment section. This will help us improve.